The story I'm going to tell you guys today is about a house and a residence. I've often emphasized to you all that I'm a true fan of stories about homes. The reason is, many of you probably agree, right, that stories about residences are something close to home and have the highest chance of encountering. Today's experience was sent by a friend on the channel, happening to his family when they had the opportunity to move into a townhouse in the middle of a fresh market. No one would have thought, right, that in the middle of a bustling market with people coming and going, there would be a building with a scary and horrifying story hidden inside. It's interesting just hearing about it, isn't it? Before we listen to this story, as always, friends, please like this clip to encourage me. If you're ready, let's listen to this story together. This email was sent by Kun Pong. It's a first-hand experience that happened over 10 years ago. Kun Pong told me that back then, he, his wife, and their 8-year-old daughter decided to rent a house in the middle of the market in the city of Ratchaburi. He intended to run a wholesale grocery store. Previously, Kun Pong surveyed the market and saw that it was lively and full of people coming and going. This made him feel that this might be a good opportunity to expand his business, turning it into a stable career in the future. Thinking that way, Kun Pong and his wife drove around, carefully choosing and looking at several markets. Finally, they found a house with a "for rent" sign. The house was an old, 2-story townhouse, one of 3 shophouses lined up in a row. The unit Kun Pong was interested in was the middle one. The building itself was 3 stories tall. The structure still looked strong, although there were some water stains and paint peeling from time, because the location of this townhouse was quite prominent and spacious. Kun Pong and his wife were very interested. He immediately called the number posted in front of the house. After talking and waiting for a while, the homeowner, an elderly man dressed neatly and looking strict, walked up to them and led him inside to look around the house. They walked from the first floor to the second and up to the 3rd floor. Kun Pong said the interior of the townhouse looked slightly different from the outside. The house itself was an old house with a somewhat retro interior decoration. The colors and various parts of the house were in a state of disrepair, but it wouldn't be too difficult to fix. When they reached the 3rd floor, the homeowner told them that he didn't use the 3rd floor for anything except storage. At the back was an old storage room, which still contained some belongings and furniture. The homeowner intended to keep them there, so he informed Kun Pong and his wife in advance. After finishing, he pointed to the back room of the 3rd floor, where the door was tightly closed and locked with an old padlock. Kun Pong and his wife agreed without a second thought. He thought it might be just the homeowner's private storage room that he didn't want anyone disturbing. After finishing the tour and agreeing on various conditions, due to the building's old condition compared to other houses in the same area, the homeowner decided to rent the house to Kun Pong and his wife at a very cheap price. Hearing that, Kun Pong immediately agreed to rent it because he thought he could easily fix the flaws in this house. After completing the inspection and agreeing on the conditions, Kun Pong's family moved into this townhouse in the middle of the market immediately. He intended to turn the 1st floor into a shop, the 2nd floor as accommodation for the family, and the 3rd floor as storage. But for now, he hadn't thought much about the 3rd floor because there were no essential items to store yet. The first day of moving in, everything went smoothly. Kun Pong was excited about the house and the new store. They brought in goods to prepare for the opening the next day. Although it was tiring, everyone was excited about starting a new life. As for his daughter, she was delighted with her new bedroom on the 2nd floor. After finishing everything, the 3 of them went to their rooms that night. Kun Pong and his wife used the large bedroom at the front, while their daughter got her small bedroom at the back. In the middle of the night, the wife suddenly woke up because she heard a strange noise inside the house. The sound was like someone walking around on the 3rd floor. She immediately woke up Kun Pong. Kun Pong also woke up in a daze but heard the sound as well. After listening for a while, Kun Pong thought the sound might be coming from the old house's structure. He tried to comfort his wife, saying it was nothing and told her not to worry and go back to sleep. Hearing that, the wife tried not to think about it, but deep down, she felt the sound was definitely someone walking on the third floor. The first night passed without further incident. The next morning, because it was the store's opening day, the response from the locals was very good, with customers coming in and out of the store constantly. This made Kun Pong and his wife completely forget about what happened the night before. After closing the store, everyone went back to their rooms to rest. In the middle of the night, the wife woke up again because she heard something coming from the third floor. Just like the day before, this time, the wife decided to get out of bed, open the door, and look outside. However, she didn't go upstairs, she just stood in front of the bathroom, glancing up the stairs. However, the sound she heard while inside the room had stopped right when she opened the door. As she was turning left and right, looking up the stairs for anything unusual, her daughter's bedroom door slowly creaked open. The wife turned to look and found it was her daughter walking out of the room. But what she saw surprised her greatly. Her daughter wasn't walking out normally but sleepwalking. Seeing that, Kun Pong's wife was shocked because she had never seen her daughter sleepwalk before. She quickly grabbed her daughter's arm and tried to wake her up. The daughter slowly opened her eyes. Confused and blurry, she didn't know how she got there. She only remembered dreaming something scary and strange. She dreamt of a man standing in a room full of stuff. A room she had never seen before. The man tried to talk and invite her to go up to him on the third floor. She only remembered that. Then she woke up to being shaken awake. Hearing that, Kun Pong's wife felt a chill down her spine but tried to stay calm and comfort her daughter, telling her it was nothing. Then she took her daughter back to bed. The strange events of the previous night made the wife unable to ignore the abnormality any longer. She decided to tell Kun Pong about it the next morning. Upon hearing this, Kun Pong admitted that he was still unsure and didn't believe what his wife was telling him. However, he decided to go up to the third floor to check for anything unusual. The two of them walked up the stairs to the top floor. Kun Pong said he felt it right away. The third floor was much colder than the other floors. The atmosphere made him uncomfortable. He continued walking straight to the storage room the homeowner told him not to touch. When he got there, he found the door locked with an old padlock. He wondered if this room was just an ordinary storage room, but curiosity got the better of him, so he decided to try opening it. As the door opened, he was stunned. A strong musty odor immediately wafted toward him. He glanced inside and found old furniture piled up in the corners of the room. The whole room was covered in thick dust. Everything looked normal, but as he looked further, he saw something that shocked him to the core. In the middle of the room on the floor was a large, dry stain. It was dark brown from years of aging. Kun Pong froze in shock. He looked around the room and quickly backed out. The wife standing in front of the room also saw it. The two quickly ran downstairs, sat down for a while, and talked about what they had just seen. Kun Pong thought to himself that there must be something wrong with this house. He decided to leave the house and go straight to the stir-fried food stall not far away to ask the aunt who owned the shop about the history of the house. The aunt, who knew the building well, told him that many years ago, the house was home to a family. This family had an eldest son who was quite reclusive. Then one day, a tragedy occurred because the son decided to end his own life in his bedroom on the third floor. After the incident, the whole family was deeply saddened and decided to sell the house and move out completely. Since then, no one dared to live there because there were rumors that people heard strange noises and experienced strange things inside the house. After hearing the whole story, Kun Pong was horrified. He walked back home with a worried heart, then told his wife what he had learned. The wife was shocked and scared. They never thought that the house they were currently living in had such an unexpected story behind it. As a result, the couple decided to move out of the house immediately. But that night, while they were packing their belongings, the sound of footsteps on the third floor returned. This time, it was louder and clearer than ever. The wife was shaking with fear. Seeing this, Kun Pong decided to get up, open the door, and look outside. What he saw terrified him. At the end of the stairs on the third floor, there was a man standing in the shadows. He stood still, not speaking, just staring at Kumpong, who was standing on the second floor. Kumpong was so shocked that he couldn't move. He ran back into the room and slammed the door shut. They stayed like that until the next morning. All three of them moved out of the house without looking back. Many years later, the townhouse remains closed and abandoned. No one dares to live there again, and no one knows if the spirit of that man still resides in that house or not. And that's the whole story I wanted to share with you today. Thank you to Kumpong for this email. How about it, friends? What do you think after hearing this story? Personally, I think even though this story might not be scary or have a ghost appearing physically, I want you to imagine, we have a family and move into a house. But every night, there's a noise coming from upstairs, and we know for sure that no one is up there. So, where does that sound come from? Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. Doesn't it? What do you guys think about this story? Is it scary or not? Let me know in the comments. If any of you have any scary or horrifying experiences, whether it's your own story or something you've heard, and you want me to share it with others like this, send your stories to the email address below. And before we go, as always, friends, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to encourage me. Thank you for watching and listening until now. See you in the next clip. Goodbye.